Hello and welcome. Today we're going to talk about square rings. And you ask, what is a square ring? Well, here's an example. Now mind you, I haven't done square rings in a while. So I picked this up and I started working with it. And as you can see, my first square ring is a little wonky and then it gets better as it goes on. You'll progress the same way. I'm going to show you the technique, but a square ring is a ring with 4 square sides. So let's get on with it. The tools you're going to need is 2 shuttles. Try to make them different colors or make your thread different colors so you can keep them apart. You're going to need a crochet hook, a tatting pick, whatever. A pair of scissors. You're going to need blue tack. Now, blue tack is that stuff you get. Comes in a package that's like about this long, like that. And it looks like little rubber strips in it. And you just pull you off a piece. Use it to mount posters on the wall to keep from damaging the wall with your posters. In kids' rooms, it's great. But what you want to do is roll it around in your hand, between your fingers, warm it up, get it soft and pliable. And you want to stick it on top of whatever shuttle is going to be your core thread. Okay? Today, my core thread's going to be this red thread, but I wanted to show you how it looks on the shuttle. Because this one is clear. You're not going to really pick it up. Alright? So, put it on there. Stick it to it. Just let it sit there. Another thing you can use is this. It's double-sided Scotch tape. You only need a little snippet. But if your shuttle is decorated, hand-painted, or anything, don't use this stuff. It will peel it off when you take the tape off. Alright? So that's just a second thing you can use. Now let's get on with it. First thing you want to do is take your 2 threads. Pull them off your shuttle. And you want to join them together. By that, you're just going to tie a knot. Remember, this is a sample piece. You're going to practice. Because with this technique, practice is everything. Practice it until you get it down and know how the tension and everything works. So, now, on this shuttle, because this is the thread that's going to show on the outside, you want a lot of this thread. So pull you off quite a bit. And I'm going to show you some tricks that I remembered while I was doing this piece that was problem children, and I'm going to give you the tips and the hints on how to prevent it from being a problem child. Excuse the coughing in the background. My husband is homesick. Alright, now, what we're going to do is put that knot in the pinch. We're going to wrap our hand as if we're going to do a ring, and we're going to go all the way up to where this thread is enough to work with. Alright, so we're going to bring it around, and we're going to put that in the pinch. Now you see this big loop of thread, you're sitting there going, I can't work with that much thread. Yes, you can. I'm going to show you a trick. Pay attention. When you wrap your hand for a ring, you normally bring it up like this. And you've got this tight all the way around. Well, today we need so much thread on our hand that we need to pull off quite a bit. So, we want the outer part, which is this, to come up right here on the pinky. And this part to be back here. So as you're working, you can just pull it off. So what you do is you grab this thread, wrap it around your pinky, forward, okay, till you tighten all that thread up into a loom that is comfortable for you. Okay, see how I've got it on there? Now, you've got your 2 shuttles. You want to lay this shuttle with the blue tack on it flat. See how the thread is coming out that side? You want this shuttle to do the same thing. Another hint. Okay? Because if they don't both come out the same direction, what you're going to have is one, when you unwind, coming out this way and the other one coming out the other way. You don't want that. So, that said, both shuttles are coming out the same direction, and you're going to stack them right on top of each other. That's what the blue tack is for. Once you get them stacked, you want to push down where that post is, because that's the strongest part of your shuttles. Alright? So, get all this set up again. And if you have any slack in this brown thread, this thread here, you can always pull it from the back to tighten it up. Alright, so now here we go. This is your first experience with working with two shuttles at the same time. So you need lots of room. Alright, so you're going to make your first double stitch. Did you see how that flipped over? Bring it down to your knot in the pinch. And you will come in many times between your blades on both of these shuttles, both sides. You will also come in between the shuttles. Be mindful. Don't let that happen. What we want to do is put in 4 double stitches. That's 2. This one's 3. And there's 4. Okay, now we've got 4 double stitches on there. Let me bring it up so you can see. 4 double stitches. The brown and the red is running through as the core, and you've got this thread that's in your loom, that's the brown on the outside. Now, what you're going to do, take your shuttles apart. This is the tedious part because you've got 2 shuttles glued together. Alright, now, what you want to do is put in a single double stitch. You want this red thread. See it? That thread? You want it in the back. Get it out of your way. You're going to put in a double stitch. 1. Okay. There's the one single double stitch. Now we're going to put in a picot and the second double stitch. There we have it. Now, guess what we get to do? We get to attach these 2 shuttles together. Now this is where you're going to, most tatters will just stick it on there. Pay mind to which direction your thread's going. Okay, let me move this sample out of the way. See how the thread's coming out there? This one needs to as well. Pull off enough so that the threads are as tight as you can get them. Okay, mush those together. Alright, and you see the brown is a little loose. Pull it tight. Straighten those threads up till you get a tension on them. Now, we're going to put in 4 more double stitches. As you can see, it's getting a little tight in there, right? So, what do? Reach back here, pull a loop of thread, and open our hand. It's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Getting tight again, so we want to pull off from back here another loop of thread and open our hand up. Again, we're coming to a picot. We want to separate the 2 shuttles, work with only the one, the outer thread, move the red thread to the back, and put in a double stitch, a picot, and another double stitch. Pull it tight. Okay, now again we got to join the 2 shuttles. We want them to, the threads to be coming out the same side. Now, if your blue tack starts getting loose and it's not holding, you just pull it off, rub it in your hand, stick it back on. See, the brown thread is a little loosey-goosey, so we want to pull it tight from the rear. Straighten it up so we got a good tension on both of these threads. Okay? Keep everything in the pinch and put in 4 more double stitches. See how I caught that blade? That's 3. We're getting a little tight in the area to work in, so we want to pull off our pinky. Alright. And here's our 4th double stitch. Alright, now we're at the next picot. Separate our shuttles, put the red behind us, put in our double stitch, our picot, and our 2nd double stitch. Again, pick up that shuttle. See, and my blue tack is starting to get a little spread out, so I want to do this again. Warm it up, stick it back on there, and stick the shuttle right on it. Push the 2 of them together. You see the brown is a little loosey-goosey. Pull it tight. Get our tension set. We want to open up our ring. See, we got our shuttle backwards, didn't we? So we pull it off. See, it has to come out. This one is coming out from there. If I lay it on top, it's coming out from up here at this side. So we want it to come out that side, just like the other one is. See how it's coming out? Alright, now stick the 2 shuttles together. Make sure our tension is right. And go in and do our last 4 double stitches. 1, 2, 3, and 4. People with small hands, my advice is use the smallest shuttles you can find in this process, because if you got big hands, it'll work, okay? If you've got small hands, you'll find it difficult working here. Alright, now we've got our final 4 double stitches in. Now we just remove all this thread off of our hand, keep this in the pinch. Separate our shuttles. We want the brown thread shuttle. And we're going to close this ring. Keep it in the pinch and watch the magic happen. If your thread should twist, pull back on it. Okay? Choke up on your shuttle. Just enough to give you room to let it twist out before you finish closing that ring, because you want the twist out of your thread. And continue to close your ring. Now you see them tails is getting involved here. They will. They're just another headache. And this process is not simple. It's not easy. You see how the thread is twisting? Drop that shuttle. Let the twist come out. You see how it's twisting out? Once the twist is out, what I do is I pull back on that ring, get some of that untwisted thread in there, and then drop the shuttle again to completely remove that twist. Then I close that. Make sure your two shuttles are not twisted up together. It is a fiddly process, but it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. It gives you a little more depth and dimension to your patterns if you change your rings up. You can also use this technique to make hexagon-shaped rings. Alright? Now, we've got our ring closed. You see them tails? They have to feed to the back side. Pull them back through your ring and out of your way. Alright? This first ring, if you do this in continuous thread methods, you don't have to mess with the tails. And the first ring is always the most horrifying if you've got a knot to deal with. Alright? Just warning you in advance. Now, the red thread. That's where our square is going to come from. Right now, we have a nice ring here. Looks pretty good. Let me open that up. See? And you can see, bring it in closer, the little blips of red where your picots are. Now, watch this. Alright, when we get ready to pull this red thread, we're going to make this round ring square. You want to pull gentle, otherwise you'll get it to roll over itself. You work it as you go, as you pull. And a little trick here is if you take your fingernail and put it between your stitches, you can straighten that thread around. Alright? Grab that red thread, tug it just a little bit more. Takes patience. That's what tatting teaches us. More than anything is patience. And there we have a square ring. Now, you're sitting there and you're saying, where do I go from there? Well, in order to move on to the next element, you've got to either put a chain in or another ring. Now, there is a website that says do the chain with both of these threads. I don't advise that. Okay? Here's what I advise you to do. Take your brown thread, wrap your hand. Well, first you're going to reverse your work. Sorry about that, guys. Them tails are driving me crazy. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm getting them out of the way. Alright, first it says reverse your work to do your chain. Now, the red thread is coming out on top. We don't want that because we want our chain to match our rings. What do? Well, if you tie a knot, this red is going to leave a red blip of color right here. Okay? So to prevent that, you just swap places. Alright? And it'll act like an alligator join. Alright? So, choke up on our shuttle. Then we're going to wrap our hand as we're doing the chain. You can leave the blue tack on the red thread, or you can remove it and set it to the side. I always remove it because it'll catch every time on that thread. Now, I do front side, back side tatting, alright? So, that's just a habit. But you want to go ahead and make your ring, chain. And we're doing a 6 picot 6 chain. As you can see, the red thread's twisty. This is Elizabeth size 20. What we're doing is we're just holding it up and letting that twist come out. So I've got 3 double stitches. We want 4, 5, and 6. We're going to put in a picot, tighten our stitches up, put in a picot, and our second half of that double stitch. Move on to 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, we've got our chain in. Reverse our work, flip it over. Now we want to make another square ring, and we want to join it right there. So what do? Get everything set up again for another ring. Now, as you can see, according to this, the red thread's on top, the brown thread's on the bottom. You're going to be using both of these, so that's fine. Alright? So, here we go. This is our brown thread, this is our red thread. We want the blue tack on the red thread. Warm it up. Stick it on our shuttle. Push it down, let it sit. Pull off the thread we need off the brown shuttle because we've got to make that big loop again. Alright? Now, wrap our hand for a ring. Come up. Give ourselves a big ring. Alright? If that red shuttle's in your way while you're doing this, you can just move it out of the way. Now, we want to wrap our hand up to where the loom feels comfortable on our hand. Everything is set except for our red shuttle that's twisted sistered here. Thread's coming out that way. We want the thread coming out the same way on our purple shuttle. Stick the two together. You can use your hand to mesh them together. Doesn't matter. As you can see, we've got slack on that red that we don't have on the brown. So you just adjust to get those two together. Alright? Now we're going to do 4 double stitches straight up to that last double stitch. Alright? That's 1, 2, and you see it's getting a little tight. Pull off from the pinky. 3 and 4. Now, we want to join to this picot. Now, we don't want to join both of these. So, again, separate our shuttles. Alright? Make sure the red thread goes to the back of your work. We're going to put in our single double stitch right here, and we're going to join right there. So we pick up our little hook, grab our thread, pull it through, and run our shuttle thread. You're doing just a regular join. You want to pull it up snug and do your second double stitch. And now, guess what? We're joining the two shuttles together again. Okay, gonna need to open that up. Ready? 1, 2, 3, and 4. Separate the shuttles, put the red thread to the back, pull it out of your way, tighten your stitches, put in your single picot, or your single double stitch, excuse me, a picot, and your second single double stitch. Alright, now, again, we're at the point we join the two shuttles. Okay? Check our tension and move on. If we need to open up the gap, loosen it up now. Do 4 double stitches. That's 3. And this is our 4th one. Okay. Again, separate our shuttles. Put the red thread in the back behind the work. Put in our single double stitch, our picot, and our second single double stitch. Now we pick up the red shuttle again. Okay, make sure the threads are coming out the same direction. Pull on that brown one to make sure it's tight. Straighten our tension. Put in our last 4 double stitches. 1, 2, and we have flight. Alright, that's 3, and there's 4. We've got in our double stitches. Again, we're fixing to close the ring. Get the red shuttle out of the way and twist the 2 threads. Put the red shuttle in the back. Get ready to close your ring. Pull your material up. Start closing that ring. Now you don't want to close this ring too tight, because if you do, it will make the ring get wonky. You just want to just close it. Alright? Now we have our ring. You see our blips of color? There's the little red blips. Alright, so we're going to make our square. We grab our red shuttle, pull on it, start adjusting our ring. Work it around. Remember, work that thread around. And do it a little bit more, little at a time, till your square pops in. Okay? And if you pull too tight, it will curl on itself. Alright? So there you have it. A square ring with a chain. So, with that in mind, I hope y'all have learned something. You're not afraid to use more than one shuttle at a time. And it takes the fear out of making a square ring. They're really simple. They're a really pretty added attraction to your tatting. Another thing is you can use this for many, many things. You can make an octagon, a hexagon, whatever. The more picots you put in, the different shapes you get. With that in mind, thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful day and happy tatting.